All right, so let's start on this. It's snowing here in California campus. I don't know what it's doing other places. Uh, so let's start with kind of some updates. The school, Penn West, is doing something new. They require us to send out progress reports. Um, so if you remember the first day of class, I talked about my philosophy of teaching. Hey, I want everybody to master this, uh, basically these concepts and, be able to apply it in counseling. So you get to redo everything until you get it right. So that should lead to an A. But they also monitor D2L. And so you have to have a certain percentage of material accessed on D2L in order for me to give you a good grade, which is pretty easy. Just watch the videos and access the material. That's all. And that percentage will go up. But if you happen to have gotten a progress report that had a bad grade listed, we're only 5 weeks into this. Don't worry. I'm just required to do that. And all you have to do is go back and watch the videos on D2L or access the notes or the PowerPoints, or I posted some extra videos, like there's an extra video from the library on Freud. There were extra videos on Rollo May. Tonight there's an extra video on Gloria and um, Carl Rogers. So, yeah, it's no big deal. Just, you know, watch your videos, watch my lectures, and that'll automatically, that percentage on D2L will automatically go up. But that's beyond my control. So yeah, you're don't worry about your grade if you got a bad progress report. That's what I'm telling you. Okay. But yeah, please watch the videos, watch the lectures. Unless you're here on Zoom, you don't have to watch the lecture, or if you're one person who braved the snow to come to class. All right. Let's see. Um, we did have um a discussion board that I'd kind of like to see if anybody wanted to share anything with the class. It was about existential moments. I shared mine during the lecture, but I was wondering if anybody here wanted to share any existential moments.
I never actually had one, but I witnessed what I think was one. I
Okay.
remember last week we talked about how it could happen during when someone's dying or on their deathbed. And whenever my great Gram was in the hospital on her deathbed, she was looking up in the sky and calling out to her mother.
Uh,
And I don't know if maybe somehow she was out of body experience was with her mother again. I don't know. That's what I have to believe in my heart to be
sure.
content with
Yeah.
everything. But that's the
But
only
that's
one.
definitely kind of a spirituality kind of thing,
Yeah, but that's
definitely.
the only one I've ever witnessed. I don't think I've ever actually had one of my own.
Anybody else? All right, well, I'll read them. So the one thing we're going to do that's new tonight is I'm going to see if we have a presentation video. I'm not going to record that. I'm not going to record us watching somebody's video. I'm going to post the link so everybody can watch it on their own, but we're going to watch it together live because I just want the class to give feedback for it, you know. And if the people who created the video aren't present, then you can watch it on your own. But if they're present, I want them to receive feedback. And if they're asynchronous, if they're not present, then I'll watch it and type feedback to them. All right. let's see. So any questions from previous weeks? Okay, Colin, don't worry about it. Okay, so one of the things I did want to say was that um, so tonight's lecture on Carl Rogers, person-centered, uh, the lecture on Gestalt, Fritz Perls, and I think the lecture after that, I'm not sure what it's on, probably REBT maybe. I don't know what the lecture is after that. But tonight and the next two lectures, so the three lectures, um, that I'm going to look up and see what that third one is so nobody's confused. So next week's Gestalt, and week 7 is choice theory. Choice theory. Okay, so um, Carl Rogers, person-centered, uh, Fritz Perls, Gestalt, um, choice theory, which is reality therapy, William Glasser. Those are the three uh, topics, theories that are going to be on your first exam. Not that it matters. You don't have to memorize this stuff, although you should, you know. Uh, but it's an open book test. Um, this exam will take, I don't know, it's 3 questions applied to a case, 3 theories applied to the case. And each question is going to take you a couple hours to write. It's not a brief answer thing. And, you know, so the way I take tests like this is like if I have 3 theories, I'll focus on one theory one night and answer that question. And then I'll try to clear my mind. And the next night I'll do a different theory. And the next night I'll do the third theory. So like I don't get the theories mixed up in my mind when I'm answering the question. So I try to separate the theories with a little bit of time. And it's also not so much writing in one night. In fact, it'd be almost impossible to do this in one night. So, and just like I said, the good thing about this is it's always nice to get the answer right on target the first time and not to have to rewrite anything. So do your best. But if you miss something, then you get to fix it. Okay. So I'd rather you understand the material and, have an accurate answer and be able to apply it accurately to a case so that when you go to practicum, you'll be able to do the same. Um, and yeah, so usually the first exam, about half the class has to rewrite one or two of the questions or add to them a little bit, but that's because you're not familiar with kind of the format. Um, the second and last exam, very few have to do that because you're kind of used to what the format is. Um, yeah, the last paper, it's really about you, so as long as you answer the questions, it's impossible to get that wrong. Um, and the presentations you're doing throughout the semester, and if you need to redo them, you can redo them too. So it should be, you know, even though exams are a little stressful, uh, that should relieve some anxiety, being able to fix your answer and make corrections on it. All right, so we're going to go over the exam itself in detail when I hand it out, so don't worry. Um, and I actually give you an outline for how to answer each question. All right, I think that's it for our announcements.